joys of summer here on Giant FM. It's time to visit again with Dick Belcher with First Federal. Dick, it's Friday the 13th. Did you bring anything spooky for us?
I brought one black cat.
One black cat?
And a ladder.
Okay. Did you walk under it yet?
Later on.
Okay.
Later on.
Don't open that umbrella yet either. Wait till you get outside. Right. Dick, what do we got going on today?
Friday the 13th. I hope everybody has noticed the bright moon that we've had the last 2 nights. It's the closest and the brightest it's going to be in 10 years. So, soak it up.
I did not know that.
Soak it up. Wings and so forth opens on Tuesday. It will be able to seat 130 people and will be located across from the Pilot Travel Center. Cold and a chance of snow this weekend. Is that right, Tanner?
That's what I read yesterday.
Okay.
I think John could probably confirm that. But
good old Indiana weather. Can't beat it. Christmas is coming early.
Greta Thunberg is the Time Person of the Year, age 16.
Yeah. She's light years ahead of where I was at 16. We'll just leave that there.
Well, how often do you get bullied by the President of the United States for taking that award?
Less than her, yeah.
That's okay.
good answer.
I'm probably not on his radar.
Okay. Boris Johnson was elected in Great Britain as the new head guy. That's considered a very big vote for the Conservative Party. Big win. Okay, a little trivia this morning. We got 2 trivias. First of all, according to the website, how many wings and so forth locations are there in Indiana? 30, 45, or 60? And then we're gonna talk to later on to Jason C, who's with the hospital. So we have a little hospital trivia here. How many employees does Woodlawn Hospital have? Is it 125? Is it 200? Or is it 340? All right, Tanner, tell us what's happening.
Yes, we got a lot of sports going on, of course, locally and nationally. We got a bunch. We got swimming going on. We got basketball, wrestling, all types of events. Congratulations to Mason Beal, who broke 2 records for Rochester boys swimming this week. He's had a stellar career and just keeps going, so congratulations to him. The Rochester boys basketball team travels to North Judson tonight. You going to be on the call again for that one?
I'm not going to be on the call. No, I'm going home this weekend.
Okay.
Grandparents in town from Arizona, so we're doing Christmas early. But
well, you did a good job last week.
Thank you, I appreciate it. We'll have Randy Wynn on the call tonight.
All right,
so
perfect.
We'll still have it on the air.
And then they host Logan Sport tomorrow. I believe we read that correctly. So it's that time of year you get some double headers going already. So. And speaking of Rochester, the girls basketball team hosted Argus last night. Came away victorious by a score of 44-35. And the Caston Lady Comets were also in action last night. They lost to North Judson 31-22. Rochester girls travel to Wabash tomorrow for a TRC matchup. Winamac is at Rensselaer Central. And Argus hosts Morgan Township. Yeah, I believe I don't have down here Tipping the Valleys. They played Plymouth last week. I didn't update that, so apologize. But, on a more national scale, but locally for our college ranks here, Purdue's looking for a new defensive coordinator after firing their defensive coordinator Nick Holt on Tuesday, I believe that was. News came out. He'd been the defensive coordinator with head coach Jeff Braun for the last 6 years at Western Kentucky and Purdue, but I guess it's time for a change.
Yeah, that dude looks intense.
Yeah, he was definitely animated on the sidelines at all times. I thought he might get another year based on the injuries and whatnot that happened this year, but you could tell Braun wasn't very happy with the defense all year long, so he must have a plan.
At that bucket game, defense was certainly lacking.
Yeah, there was a couple games this year, yeah. So we'll see what Purdue gets. There's a lot of names floating around, but no idea. I don't know if anybody really knows right now.
And how much money was he making?
He was making anywhere between $650,000 to $700,000, so that's quite a bit for a defensive coordinator in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So.
So that ought to bring in somebody.
Get some interest, I think.
Yeah.
So. And then the Purdue basketball team was off this week. They had finals week, but they traveled to Nebraska on Sunday. Hopefully they can fare better than the Big Ten teams have so far. There's been no Big Ten road team to win a conference game yet through 10 Big Ten games. So the home team's won every single one.
I know Nebraska last year for Purdue was a tough one. Grady Eifert had to have that tip in at the last second.
You're right.
to
I
get
forgot about
win.
that.
So,
Yeah, so hopefully it is a tough place to play, but a lot of Big Ten, about every Big Ten venue is. So hopefully they can get that win, and then they have a big week coming up next week. Indiana beat UConn 57-54 on Tuesday to improve their record to 9-1. They host Nebraska tonight in a rare Friday game. So Nebraska plays tonight, then travels home and plays Purdue on Sunday. So maybe they'll be a little tired for Purdue's sake on Sunday. And Notre Dame beat Detroit 110-71 on Tuesday.
That's what you call rubbing it in.
Yeah, that was a big point differential there. They improved to 7-3. They host UCLA tomorrow, who's 7-3, and I saw that game's on ABC. ABC's starting to carry some college basketball this year, which they usually don't do that.
Yeah.
So, and then pro football, the 7-6 Chicago Bears traveled to Green Bay to face the 10-3 Packers on Sunday. The Packers are 4.5-point favorites. One of the oldest, if not the oldest, rivalry in the NFL, so that's always a fun one to watch. Then the Colts fell to 6-7, losing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 38-35 this past weekend. They traveled to the New Orleans Saints, who are 10-3 on Monday night. Saints are 9.5-point favorites, and
That's low.
I am guessing they're a little angry after losing to the 49ers the way they did last week. But, and then in baseball news here, I had to put this in since I'm a Yankee fan. Garrett Cole signed a 9-year, $324 million deal this week with the New York Yankees. So Yankees think they're just an ace away from a World Series, so we'll see. It's been a while. It's been since 2009 since they got there. So.
I knew there was something a little off about you, and it just happens to be the Yankees fan.
Well, I appreciate you only thinking one thing, so. I got some tidbits here this morning. On this day in 1769, Dartmouth College received its charter. We think Purdue's old, being established in 1869. Dartmouth's another 100 years earlier. Pretty old college there. On this day in 1913, the U.S. Federal Reserve was established. On this day in 1966, the rights to the first 4 Super Bowls were sold to CBS and NBC for $9.5 million. I should have looked up to see what that equals nowadays.
Yeah.
But. And on this day in 2000, Al Gore conceded the presidential election to George W. Bush. And today is National Violin Day, also National Lost and Found Day, and National Hot Cocoa Day, which that's a good one with the temperatures right now. So
Hot cocoa.
Hot cocoa.
Okay.
I also saw today's National Ice Cream Day, so that's
I missed that one.
a little different in terms of. I think you'd want that more so in the summer.
Probably, but
coming up in
also,
December.
is there really a bad time to ever eat ice cream?
No, not normally.
Yeah.
Folks, hey, some upcoming events. There are still names on the Miracle Tree at Shepherd Chevrolet Buick. Tomorrow's the deadline. Friends of the Fulton County Public Library holiday book sale is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. today and 10 a.m. to 2 tomorrow at the library. So he's got some lots of variety of things there and can make a real good deal. Fulton County Choral Club will have their Christmas program on Sunday at 2:30 at Grace United Methodist Church. It is free will donation with all collections going towards the United Ministry Fund of the Fulton County. Akron Lions Club is holding a fish fry tomorrow from 4 to 6 at the Akron Community Center. Cost is $9 a pound. Santa Claus will be at the Fulton County Public Library from 4 to 6:30 on Monday. He gets around, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty busy guy this time of year.
Well, we have Santa Claus scheduled here a week from today.
Well, how did we book that? You must be in the inn, huh? You
Yeah.
know someone somewhere.
You got to be on the good side of Santa to get him in here. So I guess we're okay with that. So
Dick must be on the nice list.
okay. Some flowers to Whitley Barkman for being named to the 2020 Fulton County Community Lilly Endowment Community Scholar. Congratulations to him. We talked about this last week, but we got to give flowers again to those Salvation Army bell ringers, especially the one outside of Walmart. They have to stand outside, and congratulations to them. Thanks for volunteering. In the past, they the Salvation Army have collected over $30,000. So and that all stays locally. Also, just a little note, notice the courthouse decor. Of course, we got the nativity scene back, but the lighting is really great. And also Centennial Park across the street is very nicely done and typical for the holiday season. Okay, money news. Oh, it was a up and down week as usual. Yesterday, the Dow closed up 220 points. Closed at 28,132, mainly because the rumor was out that we were going to get an trade agreement with China, and the market likes those things. Top 10 Google search this year. The 10th one was Jesse Smollett.
Oh, Jesse Smollett or
Smollett,
yeah.
And the number one Google was Disney Plus. You do that?
I am on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you?
Okay.
You on Disney Plus, Dick?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
You're missing out.
The House passed the North American Free Trade Agreement, which is probably signifying that the whole thing will go through the Senate. That's a great agreement with Canada and New Mexico. Basically, what it says, there's no tariffs between those countries, and the market like that also. Okay, come on down to First Federal today. We're open until 5 p.m. today. Tomorrow, 8:30 to noon. You can always bank with us online with our mobile apps, which is free to download. Our ATM is open 24/7. We offer many different mortgage products: USDA, FHA loans, conventional loans, one-step construction loans, premier first-time home buyer loans, and more. Our loan originators, Ben Dalton and John Schaefer here in Rochester, can provide you with more details on this. I'd urge you to come to First Federal. We're the only locally owned bank left and in town, and we have a total of about 70 employees here that we employ in Rochester and in our building, and 5 other branches. We offer commercial lending for business, contact Lindy Breeden for more information. We also offer financial services. Contact Mark Blueball or Brian Bell today for more information. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and Tanner, you got us signed up on a lot of different things, right?
Yep, you can find us Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, all over. Yep.
Good. We are members of FDIC and an equal housing lender, and our NMLS number is 399927. Well, we're glad today to have with us Terry Lee, a FEDCO director, also a member of the board of the Outlet, and also Chaplain Jason C. from Woodlawn Hospital, who's works at the Woodlawn Hospital as chaplain and also as president of the board of the Outlet. What is the Outlet? Tell us about that, Jason.
The Outlet is a youth center. So we are putting together programming, getting a building around to just put a place in for our youth in our community. So the mission statement is that the youth center is faith-based, youth-driven, community-minded, and strives to provide a safe, structured environment for all Fulton County area youth. Through community partnerships and programming, our hope is to encourage teens and preteens to make a positive life choices which will not only impact their lives but also the community in which they live.
Okay, now what's the background on this? How did it get started? Where's it going to be located? And I heard several months ago it was going to open several months ago, but it's not open yet.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been a long conversation over several years and several different opportunities to try to put something like this in place. And over the last year, we've had conversations and have started the process to obtain a nonprofit, get some things in order, get a building in place. And so through the work of a group that just continued to get together, we've got a building at 602 Main Street, right here downtown Rochester, across from Evergreen Wellness Center on that corner there. And we would have loved to have opened sooner, but with some regulations and some coding and permits and all that, we had to work through. We're getting there.
See, I think having to bring in, it was what, July, August, when we decided, we looked at what, 5, 6 buildings.
Right.
It was July, August timeframe when we decided on the 602 Main. But then we had to involve an architect for some of the changes that we had to make for fire safety and so forth. We interviewed a couple of architects, chose an architect in early October, submitted our plan review to the state, which was, what, about 60 pages of paperwork.
Yeah, right.
And we just got our construction design release from the state earlier this week. We've got our insurance quotes in, which is the last thing we needed to get before we could really get in and get started. And I think we just got our building deconstruction and our building permit yesterday, or we're going to get it today. So we're working with the owner of the building, Mike Hyatt. He's a contractor. He's donating labor to supervise our crew of volunteers. Rick Smale and Larry Pyatt, who are on the board, are going to be heading up the volunteers for the deconstruction and the construction. Mike's going to donate labor there and materials at his cost. And so I think we're pretty close to ripping down some drywall and some carpet and kind of getting ready. So
Yeah, starting to get our hands on the actual project.
physical changes in the building that had to be done.
Well, thank you for those comments, Terry Lee. Put your outlet hat on if you don't already have it on.
Okay.
How's this being financed?
We have had really outstanding support from donors in the community. We didn't really even make any specific asks, but we talked about the program, talked about the need. We interviewed, I think we had survey responses from 230 kids at the middle school and the high school, things that they felt like they needed, reasons they needed this. And we just put it out there. We had modern materials, rapid view, and advanced magnetics. Who said, we'll give you $10,000 a year for 3 years, because one of the decisions we made on the board was we don't want to start something up and then not have enough money to keep it going and then have to close it down. So we looked at a 3-year sustainability plan. We put our budget together, which was just over $50,000 a year, not including things like the build-out costs. And so we got commitments basically for 3 years from those 3 businesses. We got $5,000 per year commitments from Rochester Homes, Fulton County, so the commissioners and the council, and then the Belcher Foundation, also $5,000 a year. So we want to thank all those donors very much. We got some one-time donors or donations from the Dan Belcher and TCU, Teachers Credit Union. So, and with that, I think we're still looking for one more $5,000 per year donor for 3 years. So
Okay, well, put the word out there. We need that.
The phone lines are open, right, John? So,
That's right.
but yeah, we actually had Rochester Homes, Fulton County, TCU specifically. You know, they just heard about it and they contacted us and said, "How can we help?" We had a church service in the summer. We raised
A little over 5,000.
a little over 5,000 in that, and that's a combination of like 7 different churches in town. RTC is stepping up and running new wiring, cameras for security, and donating Wi-Fi and internet service for a year, things like that. So,
Which is a $4,000 value. I mean,
Yeah.
so they're really stepping in and helping out.
yeah, so we still need money. You know, we don't know for sure what the cost for the renovations are going to be. We know we have a lot of volunteers that are going to be coming in to help with that under the supervision of Blueprint, Mike Hyatt and his crew. And again, we still need at least one $5,000 per year sponsor
For 3 years.
For 3 years,
Okay.
that's right.
Total 15,000.
Yes, Yes, sir. That's
And is in the years coming and they can give that
Great
5,000
time
and take a
to-
tax deduction?
Absolutely.
But you are a
We
501c3.
secured our 501c3 in May of this year.
Correct.
Yeah. My first note is that we met in October for the first time of 2018. So we had to look at some of the past efforts, what didn't work, figure out what would work. I think kind of a big day was when we decided that, we don't want to do this for 6 months and then have to close it down. So let's get a budget together and let's find donors that's going to help us sustain it over a period of time. And we got a very tight budget. So, if something goes over, we'll have to have a fundraiser, won't we, or get another sponsor. So.
Jason C., tell us exactly how this is going to work. What service are you going to provide for these kids? How do they get involved?
Right. So we, through this conversation and through just the vision that our board, which myself and Terry Lee, Crystal Grossman, Brad Heisey, Jana Vance, who's superintendent of the schools, Larry Pyatt, Rick Smale, Becca Carmichael, and Erica Heidi from RTC, and Letitia Timmel with Fort County. It's just been really amazing to see that, there's just a passion about the kids. And that's what our focus is just creating a safe place for them to come. And, when we our model came from the Access, which is this youth center in Wabash. And Liz Hobbs has been very helpful in helping us. We don't need to recreate the wheel. We're just establishing something here that's being successful in Wabash. And, we don't have to do a whole lot of programming. The kids just need a safe place to come in and be supported by adults. And that's what they're looking for, and that's what we hope to offer.
Well, that's great. And this will be an after-school program, correct?
Right. It's going to be pretty fluid. I mean, I think our target times are, after school till like 6 p.m., that area where the kids are waiting on parents to get home or, looking, not in school activities, so needing a place to go rather than, wandering and finding mischief. So we hope to, again, just create that safe place for them.
Terry, tell us some more about the program.
We're gonna. It's like Jason said. The number one thing that came up in our surveys with the kids is they wanted just a safe place that they could go after school. So the kids want food, they want video games, things that they mentioned. So this isn't the adults just going, this is what you need. And, we've got it all figured out. We went to the kids. What do you guys need?
Right.
They want counselors. They want a place to study. They want to get involved in the community. Safe place to help other students. They want mentoring. They want to have people there that they can share their feelings and their needs with. So beyond the money, I think especially probably from the churches, we're going to end up with mentors, volunteers, trusted adults that can just come in and give the kids an opportunity to talk to a trusted adult about a problem in their lives. We're going to have pool tables and ping pong tables and video games and comfortable couches and a little kitchenette and grilled cheese is really big. We wanted to make sure we had an oven so we could bake some cookies.
Right.
No stovetop, that gets into a different level on the engineering of the building. But place to make cookies and again a safe, comfortable, relaxing place that the kids can go. Is they also wanted a basketball court and a swimming pool.
Okay.
So unless we really have some donors before the end of the year, that's not a piece of our plan. But games, help with schoolwork, mentoring. We talked to Purdue Extension. They're going to come in and provide some programming. Liz Hobbs at the Access in Wabash has got all kinds. I mean, she's experienced 20 plus years in their youth center.
Yeah.
So from programming standpoint, we've got connections. We've also met with the Stark County youth group, so we've got some connections there. It's more about the place. And the kids wanted a place that was their own. Several churches have after-school programs and youth centers or youth opportunities. But kids would be like, well, if I'm not a member of that church, I don't feel like I should go there. And we don't have a problem with the church, but we want to play. We don't want it at the school. We don't want it at any particular church. we want a place of our own, and fortunately through the hard work of our board members and gracious donors, it looks like we're going to be able to make it happen here really soon.
Well, you guys have done the heavy lifting and carried the load. Thank you.
It hasn't seemed that bad, you know.
It's been pretty amazing that I just keep calling a meeting and people, this board just keeps coming and they just keep stepping up. It's a pretty versatile group that's willing to tackle whatever comes next. So I've been really fortunate to have this board together and, just really looking forward to creating a relationship with these kids. And, I think that's the important part of this.
Okay, somebody out there that is interested in contributing, give them some instructions.
Oh yeah. So our board treasurer is it Crystal? Is Crystal Grossman.
But they can make the contribution to the foundation, right?
We don't have anything set up at the foundation.
We don't have anything set up at the foundation yet. We will do that for sustainability.
Right.
And so that depends. If someone wants to, we can set that up at the foundation, right? Was
correct.
Someone working on that?
I think Jana and.
Okay. But any direct donation, they can contact Jason at Woodlawn. They can contact me at Fedco. They can contact Crystal Grossman, Jana Vance, any of the board members.
We do have an account at First Federal, and so that's where we're doing our banking. So you can stop in there and probably drop off a check.
Nice
I'm sure they'll be able to put it in.
We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Okay, Terry, you're head guy at Fedco.
Yep.
Let's put your Fedco hat on.
All right, switching hats.
And tell us a little bit, some things you got going on in the county.
Well, probably the most exciting thing for me as the director is the leadership on the board that has stepped up recently to look at a transition of the board from a very large, just report out kind of board to an actual working board that's much smaller. So once we get some information out to the board members, have one more meeting, we think we'll be changing our bylaws to have a much smaller board with at least 5 committees that are working on different goals in our work plan: workforce development, business retention, business attraction, entrepreneurship, quality of life. So I'm looking forward to working with, new volunteers. I will be looking for some volunteers to sit on some of these committees pretty soon. So that's kind of the most exciting thing for me. I think it'll be a more nimble group, a more meaningful group for me, and really help me get some additional traction. I've got a lot of different leads and prospects right now, some retail stuff, some restaurant stuff, some housing stuff, some industrial stuff that's going on that I think 2020, if half of those projects come through, we'll be really happy. So busy always. Youth center involvement, just as, I was a business plan judge for the Jobs for America's Graduates a few years ago, and the Rochester High School kids wrote a business plan 2 years in a row for a youth center, and I had conversations with those groups, and that's our people. I mean, that's the number one thing we have to invest in is our people, our youth. So that's why I'm working with the youth center. So I'm really glad to see that come along. As soon as we get the doors open, I get off the board and do some other stuff, right, Jason?
You transition up the board. You go president. I go on.
No. So, I mean, economic development is a lot of different things. I mean, people think about it as the smokestacks and the big business, and I've got what I hope is a really good lead for something like that right now, but it's competitive. We lose prospects to Elkhart County, we lose them to other counties in the area, closer to interstates and larger cities and things like that kind of all the time. So, in the meantime, the businesses that are here, that we have that are employing people are very important to us. So that's the thing no one ever hears about or knows about. We work with this business, that business. This business has been there for a long time that employs a lot of people in the community to help them grow, make a contact or communication with them that assists them because those that's the I don't want to say it like this, but the bird in the hand, so to speak. I mean, that's what we've got. We got to take care of it, so we do that. But then on the attraction side, I think we're really primed for growth. The developments on 31 south of us and north of us has really kind of put that highway on a lot of folks' radar in terms of transportation to and fro. So we're getting higher traffic numbers. Those higher traffic numbers are one of the things that precede interest and development. I understand the corner lot down by the Wings is under contract for new development. We've had several new businesses come in recently, small service mostly, but our industrial sectors, I think, are mostly still strong. Obviously, there's some issues with trade disputes and weak economies in Europe and China and stuff like that. But the American consumer seems pretty strong, so hopefully that'll continue to drive growth nationally and then locally too.
Thank you, Terry Lee,
You're welcome.
Director of the FedCo, and Jason C. Chaplain at the hospital and Chairman of the Board of the Outlet. Congratulations on getting this project off the ground and soon be open.
Thank you.
That's our plan.
The biggest thing too, I just want to just touch on this community has been very supportive, and I'm so appreciative. They're recognizing the need as well, so I appreciate everyone's support in our efforts.
Okay, our trivia this morning, according to the website, how many Wings locations are there in Indiana? 30, 45, or 60? You know that answer?
I read it and the number just went right. I'm gonna pick the middle one. I'm gonna go with B, 45.
Wrong.
Ah.
I'm gonna go high.
I'm gonna go high.
Okay, 60. All right. So there are 60 Wings in the state of Indiana.
Does that include the
Okay.
Rochester Wings?
Yes.
It does.
There you go.
Okay.
There you
So
go.
technically, there's only 59
Okay.
until Tuesday.
All right, another little trivia to bring out the importance of our hospital. How many employees does Woodlawn employ? 125, 250, or 340?
Do I have to abstain because I'm an employee?
Yeah, you have to
Okay.
abstain.
Oh, great. I'm gonna go with the middle one here.
No, wrong.
Dang it.
Woodlawn Hospital, according to last month, has 346 full-time equivalents. Very big asset to our community. Let's close with these words of wisdom from Harry Truman, who said, "The buck stops here."
You did.
There is nothing new in the world except the history you do not know. Harry Truman. Thank you, John.
Thank you.